Hey guys, I'm making another video. It's Caleb, the mastermind behind Edgelordist. So I got a new webcam. My friend gave it to me for my birthday, which was yesterday, and I also got this cool book called Mixtape of My Life, which is what this video is about. I'm gonna go through certain pages and then talk about my musical experience. I could just write it in here as a journal, but I feel that my stories might be actually entertaining to some people. I don't know. Okay, so the first question is: was there any music forbidden in your home? What was it and why? Um, so when I was little, like I want to say between the ages of 10 to 11, I was not allowed to listen to heavy music, so like metal, punk, that kind of thing. My mom and dad do not remember this at all. But I just remember like listening to Black Sabbath's Iron Man and being obsessed with that song, and my mom didn't really want me to listen to more Black Sabbath except for that one song. Um, and my mom is really interesting when it comes to music because she doesn't like a lot of music. I mean, like, she likes a lot of music, but then, like, when it comes to certain genres, like, she just cannot stand, like, she'll immediately skip it without, like, listening to the whole thing. So, like, we'll be in the car and we might be listening to, like, I don't know, like a rap song, for example, and she'll just get, she'll just, like, skip it. She's like, we are not listening to that song, and I would be like, but it's a good song. And she's like, I don't care, I don't like it. And I guess we all are like that, but just specifically with my mom, it's really funny by what she likes and what doesn't she like. So I always found that amusing. But to answer the question, I was not allowed to listen to metal. That's why I listened to Evanescence, which was like metal light. What else did I listen to? I listened to Fall Out Boy, Paramore, which is like the equivalent of punk, so punk light. 3 Days of Grace. I don't know what 3 Days of Grace is. Is it metal? Is it punk? I don't quite know. But yeah, that was my way of around listening to heavier genres of music. So the next question reads: what was the first song that you had listened to that had curse words in it, and who played it for you? So the first song I heard with bad words in it was Grease Lightning, and we had to listen to it for my drama camp, and I had to be about fourth grade. Now their version had it censored, obviously, but like we had Kazaa back in the day, and I just download like a bunch of songs, and then I actually listened to the dirty version of Grease Lightning. And just the way my parents were, they didn't like me listening to music with bad words in it, so like I just felt awkward listening to it, and I would just listen to it on my own whenever I'd have headphones in it. But like my parents just did not like music with bad words in it because they thought like me and my sister would just develop bad habits using bad language. So that was the first song I ever heard that had bad words in it. What song did you later realize that was smutty? When and how? Tell the story. So I recently actually discovered the lyrics to this song, and it's Baby One More Time. And when I say recently, I mean like I had to be 21, 22 when I figured it out. Because I thought the song was about child abuse. Because like I thought, hit me, baby, one more time. So I took the song very literally, and I just thought it was about hitting your child. And I didn't like the message, but I liked the song. But I later found out it was about like hit me up, like call me, and we'll fuck. What was the first album you owned? So my memory is kind of foggy when it comes to my early childhood, but I do vaguely remember having like this Disney compilation of lullabies, and it would just be like Disney songs in like a lullaby rendition. And there was like a blue disc, a red disc, and an orange disc. I specifically remember that. Other than that, I don't remember the album songs that well. Like, I can't tell you what songs were on the album and how I felt about it. But I just remember those 3 disc colors. Who bought it for you and what was the occasion? I think it was my mom's, because she liked Disney and she just gave it to me. There was no really occasion of it. So yeah, she just gave it to me. And what was the first record you bought yourself and why? So I remember this vividly. It was Baby One More Time by Britney Spears, and because I was obsessed with the song You Drive Me Crazy. I had heard it first at my friend Jennifer's house, and I would be singing along the lyrics to that one song, and I wanted more of Britney Spears. So when I was 5 years old, I bought my first album, and it was Baby One More Time. So that's the story about my first album. What band did you love in high school that embarrasses you today, and why? So I already talked about Evanescence in a previous video, but another artist that I kind of don't like that much anymore would be Adam Lambert. Like, he has some great songs, like, he has some bangers, but, like, lyric-wise, I mean, a lot of pop music is going to be anyway, but when I listened to Adam Lambert's, I think the album was called For Your Entertainment, I don't know, I just get weird. Like, the instrumentals are great, but the lyrics aren't quite on par with what I listen to, and I like the vocals as well. Adam has amazing vocals, but like when I listen to Adam Lambert, I just get embarrassed because I'm like, I listened to this album way too many times. Like, it had the same tier list as the Evanescence Fallen album. Like, there was tier 1, which was songs I was obsessed with, songs I liked, and then songs I had to be in a certain mood to appreciate. Maybe in the future, when I am not in a creative slump, I will make a video about that album, but yeah, that was a singer that I'm kind of embarrassed to listen to nowadays. Who was your first musical crush? That was Adam Lambert, because back in the day, I really wasn't into a lot of bands. Like, I didn't go to my first concert until I was a senior in high school, and so the only bands I recall listening to were my pop punk collection, Evanescence, Adam Lambert, and Britney Spears, and maybe some Christina Aguilera in there. Maroon 5 was also in there. Oh, and Nickelback, definitely Nickelback. And I really wouldn't pay attention to the looks of the band members, I guess. Except for Adam Lambert, because Adam Lambert's beautiful, and he still is. So that was my first musical crush that I can think of, because for me, it was just all about the music. It was not about the appearance of the character, of the band members, though I did want to look like Amy when I was younger, but that never happened, obviously. But yeah, my first celebrity crush / my first musical crush was Adam Lambert. Did you have any musical posters in your locker or drawings in your sketchbook? I honestly didn't have a lot of band posters or any, except for our one Hannah Montana poster, which I think you could see in a Chippy Fangirl video. I'm not entirely sure, because again, like, I didn't go to that many concerts growing up, just because I was just an awkward kid, and, we just didn't have the money to go to a concert, I guess, and I didn't know who was touring, because I didn't know you could look that up on the internet, because I didn't know what Google was until high school. That's how sheltered I was. But to answer the question about sketches in the notebook, obviously it would be Adam Lambert, because he was my husbando, so I had a lot of drawings of him, but other than that, I had one poster of Hannah Montana. I also drew a lot of Lady Gaga and Kesha because they were part of my Diva Adams series, which was a comic series that was really homophobic. Looking back at it, maybe I will take a look at it in the next browsing my DeviantArt journal episode. I did film episode 3 of that. It's just I have not gotten a chance to post it because I need to re-edit it and look at it again just to make sure that there isn't awkward pauses. So yeah, that will be coming out soon, and maybe I'll look at Diva Adam in the future. What was the first concert you went to, and who went with you? So I went to go see Cruella when I was a senior in high school. I went with my dad. What I remember about the concert was it was a bunch of young adults, so like between the ages of 16 to I want to say about 32, except for this one old man and this one kid. They were not in the same party, that they were just like different areas of the concert, and I just remember the little boy just being really confused. He did not want to be there, and neither did this old man who was just look grumpy the entire time. And I remember like there was beach balls and like swim floaties like going around the stage. It was awesome. Other than that, I don't remember too much about the concert. I was a little embarrassed to go with my dad at the time because we didn't have the greatest relationship, and I thought he didn't really like the music that much. But he actually did enjoy the concert, so that was good. What's a concert you would like to relive, and can you recreate the set list? So this question really confuses me. So relive, I assume that I would like to go to again, and there isn't a lot of concerts I actually went to, but I'd like to see Pumpkins United again, because that's Halloween's reunion with Michael Kiske and Kai Hansen, and it was just awesome to go and see that. In terms of recreating the set list, I don't know if that means like me picking out the songs that they should sing, or if that means recalling what they did sing. In terms of what they did sing, I know they did all their major hits, so Halloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Eagle Fly Free, Forever and One, If I Could Fly, all those major hits. What I would have liked was the Keeper's medley, which is the Halloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys, and King for 1,000 Years medley. They did the medley of the first 2 songs, but they kind of skipped over King for 1,000 Years because that one was not as popular as the first 2. I don't know why. I think because Kiske wasn't singing it. And the other song I would have liked them to sing was The Dark Ride, because that's another long piece that I don't think they would have played through until the end. I'm trying to think what other songs they should have sang. Songs in Chameleon would have been nice, because I do love the Chameleon album, but obviously it's noted to be one of the worst Halloween albums out there. And maybe some songs from Pink Bubbles I would have liked, even though I hate that album, but there's some bangers in there that I would have liked to have heard, like Run with the Pack and Your Turn. What's that other song that I like? Someone's Crying. That's another good song on the album. Alright, so this one's going to be a challenge, and you're going to see me pause a lot, or maybe I'm going to cut out a lot of this. So basically I have to make up album titles from when I was 13 all the way to, I guess, 26, because I just turned 26. So what would my age 13 album be called? So I was just about to be bat mitzvahed at the time. I had this really crappy group of friends. And yeah, that's really all I remember about age 13, because I blocked out a lot of my traumas and a lot of my childhood and some of my adolescence. But if I had to call my age 13 album, I would have called it Just Getting By, I guess, because it was the middle of middle school and I was just trying to get by in life. Age 14, so I was getting bullied a lot at this age. I don't remember what for, because it was after my autistic psychosis period, and I think it was more sexual harassment at that point. So if I had to name that album, it'd be Don't Touch Me. Yeah, that's what I would call that. Age 15, so I was going to go to a public school that I did not want to go to. Like, I fought tooth and nail to not be part of that school, just because of how awful middle school was, and I did not want to be in the same group of people. Yeah, I would have just called it tooth and nail because of how much I did not want to be there, and I just ended up there. Also, somebody create these album covers, because I'm really curious what they would actually look like. So age 16, I was still going to public school, but this is also the period where I transitioned to special needs school. So what would I call this album? Unsweet 16, just because of how awful my year was. Like, granted, I liked special ed school when I was there, but looking back at it, I regret every moment of it, so I just call it Unsweet 16 as a homage to Hilary Duff's Sweet 16, just because age 16 was just terrible. Age 17, so this was when I was dating Brady. Yeah, I'm dropping names, and I doubt he watches my videos. It's his first name, so, like, I don't think anyone's gonna seek him out. And he cheated on me with a friend, so I would call this album just Heartbreak. Yeah, that's what I would name it. Age 18. I would name that album What the Fuck Am I Doing With My Life? Just because I had just graduated from special needs school, and I had to go to community college, which, again, I did not want to go to. I wanted to go to this prestigious school in other places, and I just did not end up there because I did not meet the standard requirements of a typical high schooler. So I would just name it What the Fuck Am I Doing With My Life? So we left off at 19. So this is when I was in community college, and I found out that I could actually learn like an actual human being. Like my peers, I was just that I was slower than other people. So I would call this album Slow and Steady Wins the Race. I mean, it was not a great year for me, but, like, education-wise, I was doing really well. Like, I was excelling, more than I ever would have thought I would. So then we entered the college years, which I was in college when I was 18 and 19, so I don't know why these are here. So I'm just gonna say this is age 20. I would label this album. Well, first, what happened when I was age 20? I was going to move to Vermont, to that one special needs college that I was reluctant to go to, but ended up going anyway. And the first semester was good, but the second semester was terrible. But the second semester was age 21, so I'm not going to get into that yet. So what would I call age 20? I would just label it It Gets Better with a question mark. Just because, like, I thought it was going to my life was going to be better, but it just didn't. because I was still like going through depression. I had a lot of family issues at the time, and I mean, college was okay at the time, but like I didn't really have any friends, and the friends I did had kind of drifted apart from that period. So I'm just gonna call it gets better with a question mark. So then we enter age 21, which is the suicidal point of my life, and I would just call that the all-time low, the lowest of the low, or rock bottom. Yeah, let's go with rock bottom, just because I felt like I had hit rock bottom, and there was no way getting out of that period. But thankfully, age 22 onwards, it did get better. Then COVID hit, so it got a little better until it got worse again, but worse as in this different sense. So age 22, so I was just going to New York, and my life was still a little bit hectic because I was dealing with my narcoleptic symptoms, and so school was very hard, and I didn't have a lot of friends still. My depression was still pretty low, even though I was in a different place. So I would just call that album Hot Mess, just because I was a hot mess at that point. So age 23, so it was my second or third semester in New York. I would call it the time of my life, just because I was happier. I liked where I lived. I was starting to be a little bit more social. I was getting good grades. So, yeah, I would call it time of my life. So, age 24, that would be like the part 2 of time of my life. But I have to think of a subtitle to that. Time of my life, and it's only getting better from here, I guess. Age 24. So I had just moved out of the dorm, and I went to go live with a crazy woman until I moved out after a month. And I went to the Upper West Side, where I had amazing roommates. That would be the time of my life part 3. But again, I need to think of a different title. I Got This. That's what I would call it. Just called I Got This. But age 25, this is when COVID hit, so it's all downhill from here. That's what I would call that album. And age 26, I really don't have an album yet because I just turned 26 yesterday, so those are what I would label these albums, and I want to make a contest seeing how these covers would be made. So age 13, like, I imagine that just getting by would just be like a silhouette of a person in a hoodie while life is happening around them. I don't remember what I named any of these other albums. I think 14 was called Don't Touch Me, and it would just show like a nude figure with all these hands on top of it, just to like indicate that there was no boundaries at that point. Age 15, let me think, what did I name age 15? I don't remember. Let me go back in the tape and I will listen to it. So I actually wrote down what I said after reviewing the footage that I took. So we left off on Tooth and Nail. So I would imagine this album cover looking like going to a dentist office, and instead of like whatever a dentist typically uses, it would just actually be a nail and a hammer, and then somebody's mouth just being wide open, and the dentist looks like he's gonna nail in the tooth. Unsweet 16. I don't know what this one would look like. I think it would just be a birthday cake. And instead of like white frosting, it would just be black. And it's not a elegant cake. It's like a 3-tier cake, but it's falling down. Like it's declining. And there'll be a party hat on top of the cake as it's falling down. Heartbreak, it would be an actual heart, so like the organ and not the shape. And it's just taped together with a piece of tape. What the fuck am I doing with my life? I imagine it's a close-up of a shoe and leg, and in the background would be the community college I went to. Slow and steady wins the race. I imagine myself being on the ground crawling next to a snail, and the snail is behind me, but like you only see my legs in the shot because that's how big a CD cover is, like yay big. So you just see my legs and then the snail's in the back. So that'll be slow and steady wins the race. It gets better with a question mark. I'd say it would just be a landscape of Vermont. I can't think of anything that would go with that album cover. Rock Bottom would just be like black and then me sitting in a fetal position with my head down. Hot Mess would just be an abstract painting. Like I just imagine like splatters all over the place. Time of My Life Part 1, what would this one look like? I think it would just be a hand-drawn smiley face, kind of similar to the Nirvana album, but, like, it's positive, I guess. It's only getting better from here. Only getting better from here. What would I name that? I mean, what would it look like? I don't know. That one's up to interpretation because I can't think of anything that would look like. I Got This would be just a meme. Like, I just imagine a kid with his thumbs up and it says, I got this. And then it's all downhill from here. I just imagine, like, a close-up of a hill and just me walking down that hill with, like, a large backpack. So those are the albums of my life. What was the first music video you remember, and where and when did you see it? So, I don't know if I have this right, but I'm guessing it was Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne, and this was the first year that YouTube was around, so, like, it was just fairly new, and somebody had just uploaded that footage onto YouTube. I can't think of anything before that I saw. Did I like the music video? I have vague memories of it. Like, I know there was, like, one scene where, like, there's, like, a fisheye lens and, like, Avril was, like, talking down to it or singing down to it. I don't know. I don't know if that was a fever dream or if that actually happened. I don't remember if I liked that music video. Who gave you your first mixtape, mix CD, or playlist? Did it lead to romance? The first person who gave me a mixtape was my dad. So it did not lead to a romance, and I'd be concerned if it did, because we had Kazaa at the time, and we just burned disc of, like, whatever, like Sailor Moon, Barbie Girl, what else did we have on there? Jesus, Britney Spears would be on there, Evanescence, yeah, he would just, like, burn these CDs, and I'd just have a lot of fun doing them. What was your first exposure to opera besides Bugs Bunny? What's up, opera, doc? It was actually in a video that I made, Postmodernism and Classical Music. I had never seen an opera, and I still haven't seen an opera in full. But watching that scene from Lady Macbeth really opened my eyes to what opera is and gave me a newfound appreciation for it. For those who didn't see the video, what I had watched was a scene that involved a public rape, and the music actually sounds like a woman getting raped, and a woman steps in saying, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And she actually sounds like she's scolding the men that raped this other woman. And it's just like a very hard song to listen to and watch. I did like the theatrics in it, though, like how they use soda cans for semen. It was pretty cool. Um, and yeah, it's a really hard scene to watch, but it gave me that appreciation that I never thought I had. Like, I thought opera was just like shrieking, high pitched screams, basically. Not really screams, but maybe like wailing. And now I know why it sounds that way. And some songs, yes, they are annoying, but like other songs, I'm like, oh, you know what? I could actually listen to this. Um, so yeah, that's my exposure to opera. It's Shostakovich's Lady Macbeth. What about a Disney music movie? What song carries the most memories? So when I was little, I really didn't care for Disney music. Like, I always found it to be a little bit awkward because I don't like musicals. I never did, and I probably never will. I like opera, but I just don't like Broadway or musicals just because it doesn't sound realistic. But the one Disney song that I did like was the Oogie Boogie song. I don't know why, and what about it? Like, I don't listen to ragtime at all, and that song always stuck around with me. So that was like the only Disney song that I know carried on from my childhood. Nowadays, like, I like the villain songs, especially like Jonathan Young's covers, like Be Prepared and Poor Unfortunate Souls, Hellfire. Yeah, I like the villain songs. I don't really care too much for the happy songs because I'm dead inside. Which music trend or artist influenced your overall fashion sense? So I don't know if you already know this or not, but I listen to a lot of metal. So I listen to some symphonic metal, but I wear a lot of black and red, sometimes white. I love my leather. I don't wear it that often, but I do love leather. I have these long maxi skirts that are black and red. I used to wear corsets too. Not the fancy ones, but like kind of like the more athletic ones. And it looked really cool at the outfits I was wearing, to be honest. So, yeah, just like metal influenced the way I dress. Did you play an instrument or sing in choir in high school? Who was at your right? I don't know what it means, who was at your right, but I did play piano for a brief period of time. I want to say I was in 3rd grade when I was learning how to play piano. And then I was in choir in junior high. I don't know who sat to my right, to be honest. I remember I was cast as an alto, even though I'm more of a soprano and always was a soprano. And it was just really awkward to sing low notes because I was not meant to sing that way. Tell a story of a band or orchestra adventure or road trip. So we were going to Arizona, my sister, her girlfriend, and my parents. We were going to Arizona, and we made a Spotify playlist before we had left California. And I just added like a bunch of shit that I liked, and like my sister was kind of pissed because she was like, well, how are we supposed to listen to other songs on this playlist if it's mostly yours? So I had to take a lot out, and I just remember there's this one song called Medicine Chan. It's 18 minutes long, and it's this ambient song, and like I just remember my parents getting really bored at the 9-minute mark, and they're like, can we skip the song? And I was like, no, it's an amazing song. They're like, well, we hate it. And I'm like, okay. So that's a road trip that involved music. Another trip that I recently went on that involved music was on our way back from Sacramento. My mom and I were just helping my aunt move out of her apartment, and we didn't really have an auxiliary cable, so I just had to like play music through my phone and iPad, and we did something called musical roulette, where basically I had no idea what was going to be played, and my mom just had to sit and deal with it. So I just remember listening to like stuff by Courtney Love, Nirvana, Metallica, Muse, Queens of the Stone Age, Britney Spears, just everything. Was I listening to classical music at that time? I don't think there was like a lot of classical on there. I know Vanessa Mae, we did listen to the entire album because I wanted to. But other than that, I can't think of who else we listened to. But I just definitely remember Courtney Love, and my mom had to sit and deal with it. Which album are you most likely to give a gift, and why? So I would give Halloween's Unarmed to anyone who's not a metal fan, and just give it to them without any context. No, that's not true. I would give it to them because it's a very diverse album. It's a hot mess, yes. Like, there's a lot of songs that are in there that are just awful. But it really gets you into metal, even though it's not a metal album. It's more of an orchestral / acoustic album. And there are plenty of good songs on there, especially the Keeper's Medley, which remains true to my heart. So yeah, I'd just give it to like any non-metal heads or people who don't know Halloween. I'd just give it to. Alright, one last question. Alright, so this one's kind of obvious. What artist is a guilty pleasure? Nickelback. Like, they aren't the greatest band around. They aren't your typical rock band, and they aren't really metal, but iTunes classifies them as metal. So they aren't that great. But you know what? Like, For All the Wrong Reasons stays true to my heart. Like, that album helped me get through high school. Even though it's really creepy as fuck analyzing the lyrics. So that and Dark Horse were, like, really prominent albums in my life. I haven't listened to any of the recent stuff, to be honest, just because of how embarrassed I am as a Nickelback fan. But yes, Nickelback is a guilty pleasure. So that was the video, guys. Let me know if you liked what you saw, and maybe I'll do more of these musical style questions. Alright, see you in the next video.